welcome back. Today's video a little bit different. I'd like to do a quick review here about the brand new DJI OM5 stabilizer. For those of you who have been watching a few of my videos, you may have noticed I'm using that old version for pretty much all my videos. I actually have it right here. That's the OM4. You may see it. The new one is a little more tiny, it's lighter. Much lighter, it's about 100 gram lighter now. The battery is a little bit smaller, but other than that, it's still pretty much the same principle. With one exception now, the OM5 has a, I think, 250 millimeter extension. So you can do kind of the selfie thing here, or you can do low or high shots. For those of you though new to gimbals and why you would even use something like that, they have been around for many years. The thing is though, nowadays those cameras on those phones, they become so good that you really can do some great video work with them, or photos too. So having a gimbal just raises the level big time, I would say. If you watch videos and you see videos where like the horizon is crooked all the time and it's shaky and stuff, you normally just switch to another one. So having a gimbal definitely helps a lot with that. Using a phone generally for video, it has become more and more popular nowadays. I would say the biggest problem still is audio. The microphone is not bad if you're in a quiet room, like right here. If you're outside and it's just a little bit windy, you get the wind noise. If it's kind of medium-sized windy, it's just unusable. There is some options though, or some ways to avoid that. I talk about this at the end of the video, what I normally do. So those gimbals, they have become really handy, and just like anything, they become smaller and smaller, which is a great thing. Easy to pack nowadays. They come with a clamp, so you can pretty much put them on any phone. This is the 12 mini, like that, because it's light, and then it just goes on like that. As for the controls, they have changed a little bit. They added one more button. Actually, the mode button used to be here on the front. We changed the different modes for the gimbal. They put it on the side, and they added one more here on the front where you can switch from the front to the back camera. Again, for those of you totally new to a gimbal, to operate a gimbal, you need an app, and for the DJI, it's called the DJI Mimo app. It's free on the App Store. Download it, and then you just have to make sure your phone is Bluetooth is on, and then it automatically normally connects to the gimbal when you put it on here and turn it on. Okay, so then if you, let's say you're brand new to that, the first thing you want to do, or you have to do kind of, is make sure it's balanced, it's calibrated. And to do that, you push at the left bottom here by the three dots. That brings you into the menu section. Then you go all the way down and it says auto calibrate, and you just hit the calibrate and it says start, and you just wait for a few seconds and it starts to do this weird thing. I see it moving around here in a second. Here we go. Obviously make sure when you do that you kind of on a steady surface, and it's kind of a flat level surface. Here we go, finished, and it's going to say okay, finish, and you just hit okay, now you're done. Now the horizon should be perfectly level. If it's not, or if you want to change it for some reason, if you go back into the menu, under auto calibration, there is a horizontal gimbal adjustment. You can push that, and then it asks you, make sure the clamp is on perfectly, and then from there you can just change it manually. If you want to have it for whatever reason, or if it's not perfectly balanced, I can adjust it here. Okay, so that's kind of the first thing you have to do before you even start using it. Controls are really, really simple. There is this mode button here where you turn it on and off. You can switch your modes around with that too. Below that you have the zoom for the camera switch. In front, on the red button, is where you start and stop the recording. Below that, again, like I said, is the switch to switch from the front to the back camera. And that also, if you push that actually twice, it turns the phone from a horizontal to a vertical level. And then the joystick, that allows you to move the gimbal manually if you have to do that. And there's some other things you can do with it. So it's really simple to use. The last thing in front, you got that smaller trigger, and there is some shortcuts, some stuff you can do with that. Explain that as you go a little bit further. So that's kind of the basic control. As for myself, you've probably known or seen, I do lots of hiking videos. So I really love it. It is so much lighter than carrying a big DSLR with the microphone. What that also allows you, if you go into a crowded space here in Hawaii, some hotels or so, if you walk around with a big camera, you may run into security. If you do something like this, nobody is going to ask you. You just look like a regular tourist. So another reason to go for the small gimbal setup. Another problem using just the phone for video is at night. This camera is still not that great when it's kind of darker areas. Especially the selfie camera is really not good. The front cameras are much better normally, most phones. Okay, now let's go quick into the menu. There is a few modes you can switch to, and to switch them again you just push that mode button and then you get into the menu section. On the left are all the different options you have, like time-lapse, slow motion, video, you can take pictures. If you go with your trigger over to the right, that's when you get into the mode section, and it starts with the following mode, and that's the one I use, I would say 90% all the time. That's the one where, like the name says, it just follows your movement. So you go left, you go right, the phone follows you. It just does it a little bit slower and more steady, and when you stop, the phone takes maybe another 2 seconds to actually do the same movement and stop. So it's a smooth movement. Same if you point up or down. It just follows any movement, with one exception. If you tilt, now as you can see, the phone actually stays level. And that's what makes really the difference. And that's kind of how your brain kind of works, because when you walk around and look around, you kind of do this with your head. You normally don't do this. And that's kind of a simulation what the following mode does. Okay, now the next mode is the tilt lock mode. Again, push the mode, go over to the right, one down, tilt lock mode. What it does, like sideways, nothing changes, but when you point up or down, now the phone wants to stay level and face in the same direction. Now there is obviously a point where it kind of follows the gimbal if you reach the limit. But generally, it kind of may be able to see that it stays perfectly straight. So you can actually use that. When I use that, if I do like a crane shot, if I attach like a monopod to the gimbal and I do like this, and you reveal something, so you can do this, and the phone doesn't tilt like this. So that's probably the only reason sometimes I use the tilt lock mode. Or sometimes if you follow somebody from behind and film them, that may be another reason you want to do it. Okay. Now next mode is the FPV mode. For me, it's more like a fun mode. It kind of simulates like you would be flying, because now what's happening, it moves with you, all the movements, up and down as well, but now also it tilts. So you can use that, again, just as for fun, like you run around, it kind of looks like you're flying, or if you film something, it may look like you're on a boat, because now everything is kind of moving like this. So the FP mode is used in movies quite a lot. Myself, and again, I'm mostly in the following mode. Okay, next one is the spin shot. Okay, if you do spin shot mode, if you use your joystick and push to the right or left, you can see the phone does the turning motion. So you can do the spin shots. And they're lots of fun. Here's some examples. Obviously, you can't go all the way 360 degrees because sooner or later your camera is going to hit the arm here. But it's fun to play around with those. As for the shooting modes, the one column here on the left. First, the story mode is where the DJI app actually helps you to film. You can kind of play around with that. It gives you options how many seconds you should film this and what kind of situation you want to film. It's kind of a movie maker's guide, I would say. You got the Pana mode, where you can do different kinds of panoramas. The photo mode, standard photos, standard pictures. Video mode. Slow motion mode. It's kind of limited though. I normally just use the regular phone app for slow motion. The Dynazoom mode, you can do stuff like this. Then the time-lapse mode, that one is interesting. And then the hyperlapse mode. And the hyperlapse mode is fun too to play around. Here's an option you can do with that. All right, now the one thing to know about those gimbals is there is one movement they won't help you at all, and this is the up and down. So those motors won't help you with that. So the key is to hold it as steady as just possible. So you see like how people do like the ninja walk, where you kind of move on your heels and like this, and your knees. Obviously, if you do long hikes, that really doesn't work. What I kind of tell myself is I'm carrying a full glass of water, so I try to move, just walk regularly, but try to move as little as possible up and down. And that normally works out pretty good. You also can use some software to stabilize it even more. Remember though, when you do that, it crops the frame even more. So in general, just because of that and stabilization, you always want to try to shoot as wide as possible, because again, the stabilization crops, and as more as you zoom, as more you see the shake. So I normally shoot with the wide angle lens most of the time. Another option, of course, is use any kind of wheels, skateboard, whatever. I sometimes use my bicycle, and then that looks like this. So you're kind of getting rid of the up and down movement, and the gimbal does all the rest for you. Okay, so one more thing has changed in the OM5 is the active tracking. It's now on the 4.0 version, and that's supposed to be better. Now what it is, you can actually set up the gimbal so it follows you around. Wherever you move, it keeps you kind of in the center of the frame. The active tracking, how that works, when you're in the video mode, there's that hand signal you push, then you switch the blue bar over to the right to activate it. Then you just stand in front of the phone and hold on your hand like this, and then we'll see that the phone starts to flash a few times, and then it starts actually recording automatically. And then you can move around to the left, to the right, and the phone will keep you in the center. If you want to stop, you do the same thing. You just hold on your hand out again, and the recording will stop automatically. I notice it definitely works better than on the older version. I don't use it too much, but once in a while, it's fun. So what you do if you want to film yourself without the tripod, if it's like an uneven ground, I just got myself a 3/4 thread and I put this in the ground. Then I just use it like this. Works like a charm. Alright, now as for audio recording, I was talking about this earlier. This is the biggest disadvantage on filming with a phone. Especially if it's just a little bit windy, it's most of the time it's just unusable. So I'm using here the Comica Boom XD system. This here is actually the transmitter, and you normally can just put this on your shirt, or you can even plug in a lavalier mic, and then on your phone there is the counterpart, the receiver. You just plug that in, make sure they are connected. You see that if you have a blue light, you actually can record a total of 2 microphones with that system. Make sure the audio level is good. You can adjust that too. And then you're pretty much good to go. Once in a while I notice if I'm close to a power line or in a busy place, it may interfere a little bit, the wireless signal. But you just have to check after, and that's kind of a problem. The audio, you really never know till you get back home and watch the video and you go, oh my god, there is the problem. So if it's an important recording, just bring a headset and make sure you check the audio too before you leave the location you're filming. Another advantage of using that wireless system, mostly now you can separate from your phone, you can walk around and have still the perfect volume level. I would say if you prepare yourself a little bit, especially carrying the weight. So I'm gonna put a link too for the Comica system I'm using. Again, there is a few options. That's the one I have been using for about 1.5 years, and so far I'm pretty happy with it. All right, here we go. Final thoughts. The 5 or the 4, which one should you get? Should you get one? If you're interested in doing some kind of more serious filming with your phone, I definitely think you should get one. It just makes you think about what you're doing while filming. And again, even with those stabilized lenses or sensors the phones have nowadays, having a stabilizer just makes still a big difference, especially with the horizon leveling. Now, if weight is an issue for you, definitely the 5 light, much lighter. Also with the selfie stick, if that is important, which I like it for filming myself, because now, like I said earlier, you just get much more of a background since you have much more distance while holding this out with your arm. Your arm is not in the frame. So I like this for selfie shots, definitely. Now the drawback with that selfie stick, again, is the battery life. And for me, going on multiple day trips sometimes, the 4 is still the winner because it has that USB-A charging port here. And I use that on multiple day hikes while I charge my phone while filming. So this handle becomes a power bank now. I definitely missed it not having here on the OM5. The selfie stick, yeah, would be nice, but you can still put a monopod on this one. Another thing I notice, I'm not sure what is going on, if it's a software issue or if there's an update coming. I noticed the footage on the OM4 is generally a little bit more stable than it is on the OM5, which is strange. I'm not sure what's going on, but again, I hope it's just like a bug somewhere and there is an update coming on that. Now, I put some links for the 4 and the 5 below. If you like to support my channel, please use them. I appreciate that. And again, thanks for watching. I see you all next time. Aloha.